is Jaden Gould, and you're listening to the Dan Sports News and Friends podcast.
This is Beal Powell, and you're watching Dan Sports News.
No, Frank, and you're watching Dan Sports News.
I'm Edwards, and you're watching Dan Sports News.
This is Javon Cornell, and you're watching Dan Sports News.
This is Maricino, and you're listening to the Dan Sports News and Friends podcast.
What's up, everybody? It's Clee Wop. You're listening to the Dan Sports News podcast.
This is Nicole Michelle, and you're listening to the Dan Sports News and Friends podcast.
This is Elliot Cadeau, and you're listening to Dan Sports News.
Welcome to another episode of the Dan Sports News and Friends podcast. I am your host, Daniel Dan Sports News Flores. Don't forget to follow me on all social media at Dan Sports News to catch all my latest interviews and articles. Today's guest is Putnam City North guard Jeremiah Johnson, who is one of the top basketball players in the class of 2023. Check it out. Tell me a little bit about how you first got started in basketball, and how old were you when you first started playing basketball?
I first started playing when I was around 4 or 5 in the little YMCA league. And then since then, me and my dad just been working until now.
And you're from Oklahoma, so tell me a little bit about growing up there in Oklahoma.
Yeah, I'm from Oklahoma City in the middle. It's been harder growing up while like basketball reasons because you don't really look at Oklahoma as a basketball state. So we got to work double as hard as people from Texas, Chicago, and California and stuff like that. But it just gives you a mindset where you got to work hard twice as much as everybody else has.
And who are some of the guys from Oklahoma? Like you said, not many basketball players coming out of Oklahoma, but who were the guys from Oklahoma that you looked up to and watched a lot when you were younger growing up?
First, probably was Stevie Clark. He was really good when I was coming up in, like, elementary days. Then, of course, Trey Young, Bryce Thompson, who's now at Kansas. Those are probably the main ones I watched that came out of Oklahoma and actually did something.
And I know Buddy Hield, technically, he's from the Bahamas, not really from Oklahoma, but he did have the 4 years at Oklahoma College, Oklahoma Sooners. So did you watch him with his time at Oklahoma?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, I really watched him his senior year when he was really going crazy because his senior year he was a problem. He was averaging like 24, 25 points a game almost, and he was just a killer.
Right, for sure. Yeah, he was going crazy back then.
Yes, sir.
Now, your dad is also the assistant coach of your team. Tell me a little bit about your relationship with your dad, and how is it having him as a coach there in basketball?
So me and my dad's relationship is real close. Of course, that's my dad, but him on the coaching staff, it just helps a lot knowing that your dad is on the sideline, so your confidence automatically is going to go up a little bit more. But it's really kind of no difference because he still treats me like I'm anybody else. He still pushes me probably, if not more than anybody else on the other team. Right. But it's good knowing that you have somebody in your family that's right there on the sideline with you every game.
Now, your dad actually played some semi-pro basketball and played pro overseas. Tell me a little bit about his basketball background and career.
When he played overseas, I wasn't really old enough to remember that, but he told me he played in Germany, as I remember, but I know in college he played at Texas State. Then in high school, he went to Southeast High School in Oklahoma.
Was there any guys maybe that played in the NBA in the past that he played against growing up that he's ever told you stories about or anything like that?
Yes, he actually said he played against Lamarcus Aldridge, who used to play with the Trailblazers, and I think he's with the Spurs now. I don't know.
Wow, okay.
But
Lamarcus,
he played against him, and he's actually played with and against Chris Paul in a few open runs.
Okay. Blake Griffin is also a guy who's from Oklahoma. You used to play with his AAU team, correct?
Yes, sir.
Was Blake Griffin someone you kind of also looked up to growing up as a kid?
I'm not gonna lie, not really, because I didn't really watch Blake Griffin because he went to a little Christian school in Oklahoma, so like I wasn't really familiar with him. But I watched him when he played with athletes first, so him and his brother.
You're going into your sophomore year. Last year was your freshman year, first year of high school basketball. Tell me a little bit about how the season went last year. What did you think? What were some things you needed to improve on?
Our season actually went pretty good. I forgot what our record was, but I know we were very positive. Like, we won way more games than we lost. It was a good season. It was a good season for me, my team, and the coaches too. But the thing I probably say me and us as a team to work on is probably team chemistry, because we bumped heads a little bit because we have a lot of scorers and aggressive people on our team, so we kind of bumped heads with people shooting the ball and stuff like that, but it's just a chemistry thing.
Of course. And you play at Putnam City North. Tell me a little bit about the basketball culture there.
It's pretty good, actually. Peace North actually has a lot of good talent at that school, so no matter what, we always going to have 5 people that can go out there and hoop no matter what, because we have a lot of good people there. It's 6A, so it's a lot of kids from all different sports up there. But we are a sports school, football team good, basketball team good, soccer team good, tennis team good, just everybody on sport.
Trae Young, he went to Norman North, which is also in Oklahoma. How close is that to your school? Is that a school that you've played against and stuff like that?
Oh yeah, actually, I grew up watching Trae Young, especially his junior and senior year, but I really saw him his senior year. And Norman North is kind of far from Peace North, probably about a 30-minute drive. There's really on the more of the south side than the north side. But just going up watching him, just watching how he played out there and stuff, it's just he was on a whole different level.
Tell me about this upcoming season. What's the latest on the season? Is it still on?
Yeah, as far as for right now, everything's a go. We're still having full contact practice. We're still going to have scrimmages in a couple weeks. All the games are still on. Only thing that's kind of dimmed down is how many people can come to the games or not. We're going to have a limit this year. But other than that, everything is in go.
And obviously, as we know, like we said, we're still on COVID-19 right now. AAU season was canceled. I know you were going to run with Bradley Beal Elite on the EYBL circuit this year. Tell me a little bit about being a part of Bradley Beal Elite.
Bradley Beal, I love them. I love them. They take care of me like I'm family. Anything I need, they got me. Anything they need, I got them. We're just all one big family from middle school, the girls, to all the way up to 17U. Everybody just take care of each other.
And how is it working with Bradley Beal, a guy who's in the NBA?
It's good. The good thing is that other teams don't really get Bradley Beal comes to our practices, combines, games. He even coaches the 17U whenever he can, whenever he's not in season or not practicing. And also, he follows. I don't know if he does all, but I know he follows his players' Instagram and Twitter, so if you ever need him, you can ask him questions or anything.
What are some of the stuff that you've learned from Bradley Beal?
I learned, you just gotta work hard no matter what, even if you fall short, because last year he should have been an all-star, but he wasn't. But he didn't let that take over him. He still pushed through. He actually went harder. He was averaging 30 points, had 4 or 5 50-point games. He just pushed through. He really just lets us know that no matter what, if you just work, you're going to be good. And also, it's more than just putting the ball in the basket. Little stuff like talking, diving on the ball, playing defense, all little stuff like that.
Yeah, Bradley Beal had an amazing year last season, 30 points and 6 assists, and was still snubbed from the All-Star game, which is crazy.
Yeah, ridiculous. He should have been made that.
What were some of the things that you worked on over the summer since there was no AAU season? What did you work on over the summer to get better at?
Pretty much I worked on everything, but the main thing I really focused on was probably my body getting stronger, faster, more athletic, and just increasing my range from the three-point line, and just little stuff like talking, being a leader and stuff like that.
And I saw you were at Pango's Midwest camp a few days back. How was that playing against some of the other top competition in the area?
It was really good. It was really fun, especially going out there to be able to compete, especially because I didn't really get to play or compete like that this summer due to COVID. But it was fun going out there and just evaluating myself with some of the top players in the country. And then I felt like I did good.
You just picked up an offer from Illinois, and you spoke with assistant coach Orlando Antigua.
Yes, sir.
How was that, and what were some of the things that he told you?
That conversation was real good, but we talked about just the staff, how the school is and stuff like that, and just hopefully getting me up there for a visit whenever this corona stuff is over with. But as far as right now, we ain't really get to talk. We ain't really get to talk as much as wanted because I was in the middle of practice. But we really just getting to know each other and just telling each other a little bit about ourselves.
So how was that moment, being in practice and then getting the offer?
It's good. It just lets me know that just working, if I just keep working and just keep going out there and performing, that the coach is going to come. You ain't really got to just...
And you also hold offers from Oklahoma and Oklahoma State.
Yes,
what have those coaches told you?
Really much the same thing. they want me to come in and try to try to get them a national championship. They feel like I can fit in the style play that they have. They feel like in 2023 I could consider signing either one of them, and just really they just want to get me up there for practices, games, whenever I can.
Is there any other schools currently that are recruiting you that have you on their radar?
Yes, sir. I've been in contact with Kansas, Tulsa, Texas Tech, Notre Dame, Virginia Tech. I've talked to RU a little bit. Yes, and Purdue.
I saw you were working out with Rondell and Cade Cunningham, some of the guys at Oklahoma State. How was that?
Oh, it's real good working out and just getting to know people like them, because Cade and Rondell is somewhere I want to be at a D1 college or any college that I feel like I can fit in. And it's just good, like, just talking to them and just getting to know what they did and what they have to do to get there and what it's like already being at college and stuff like that.
Who would you say was the toughest player you've ever gone against, whether it was in a game, a workout, open run? Who was the toughest player you've ever guarded?
The toughest player I've ever guarded is probably have to say Bryce Thompson. Bryce Thompson is the real deal. He can just score in so many ways. He can shoot over you, beat you off the bounce, move without the ball, rebound, everything.
Who in the NBA do you try and mold your game after?
I'd probably say the most, probably LeBron, just by the way he does everything and how he's a leader on and off the court, and also how he's super vocal and talks to his players no matter what. If it's winning, losing, even if it's little stuff like, come on guys, let's get back into it, or just little stuff like talking like who back on defense and stuff like that.
And who would you say is your game most like? What player style is kind of like yours? I guess like a guard, since you're a guard.
My play style is probably more of a John Morant, just by the fact that at my size I'm really, really athletic, and then I can get to the basket with ease, and then I can also play make a little bit too.
Who's your favorite NBA team?
Lakers by far.
Really? Not the Thunder, even though you're from Oklahoma?
No, I really never really liked the Thunder. Only time I really liked is when they had KD and Russ, but I've always been a LeBron fan. Whatever team he's on, that's whatever team I'm going to go for.
Now, just being from Oklahoma, in your opinion, who would you say more encompassed that Oklahoma City Thunder team? Was it more Durant or Westbrook, in your opinion?
I'll probably say Durant, just by the fact that when he left, it was such a big deal, but when Westbrook left, it wasn't really as big of a deal as when Kevin Durant left. But to me, I think it's KD, because KD is one of the best players of all time, so whatever team he leaves from is going to, of course, have an impact on that team.
What do you think of the current state of the OKC Thunder right now? You know, a young team, but they have Chris Paul, a veteran leader. What do you think of the Thunder currently?
Currently, I think the Thunder, they're really better than what I thought they would be, especially having a lot of young players, but I think Chris Paul led that team really, really well. Plus, they got Shai Gilgeous, and he's upcoming too, and I really like him.
Yeah, I think Darius Bazley's pretty good as well. I think he could be kind of like Harden too.
Darius Bazley kind of reminds me of Kevin Durant, of how tall, lanky, and just how he's super versatile and stuff like that.
You actually played with CP3, played at CP3's camp back in middle school. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yes,
how was that, and what was it like to meet CP3 in middle school?
That camp was really good. I really liked that camp. That camp really showed me where I was with most of the top players, because that was a really good camp for the top players to go to. And it was good seeing CP3, knowing at him being his height that he is, how effective he is in the NBA, because he's really not that tall, but he's still one of the best point guards to ever do it.
Now I gotta ask you, since you play with Bradley Beal Elite, his AAU team, do you think Bradley Beal should stay in DC or should he go somewhere else? I don't really
know. I just hope he does his best for him, because at this point, I know in the NBA your main thing is to win a championship, and I don't know if he can get one with that team or not right now. But it depends if John Wall's going to come back or not, if he's healthy. But really, whatever's the best decision for him.
What were your overall thoughts on the NBA bubble this past season?
I actually kind of liked it, because one, you're still getting to play, and I know the players are loving it because it's not as loud as it is with all the people in there. And then it's really kind of no difference just without really fans and just not being as close to each other.
Now, some people think that it was easier for LeBron because, no fans and stuff like that. But some people think it was harder because you have to put your mind to it and focus for all those days. Do you think it was easier or tougher for the Lakers to win the championship this year?
I think it's probably easier because I just know, like, during the game, you really ain't got fans talking trash to you, not as loud, not bringing you down in there. And the gym is way, way quieter, so it's easier to talk and stuff. So for me, I think it's probably was easier for them.
Tell me, what are some of your favorite shoes? Well, what's your favorite shoe to hoop in?
My favorite shoe is probably probably Kyrie's, because Kyrie's are super duper comfortable and they're very light. Like, they're not heavy. Like LeBron's, that used to be my favorite shoe, but they're too heavy. I don't like that.
Before a game, what music are you listening to? Who gets you going before a game?
I probably have to say NBA YoungBoy, The Baby, Stunner from Vegas, any rapper that's like turned up with his music, anything like that. But I also listen to some calm music. Like I listen to Drake a little bit, J. Cole. It's really just whatever I'm feeling that day.
And give me your top 5 NBA players in your opinion.
Top 5: LeBron at number 1, Kevin Durant number 2. I say Kawhi number 3, James Harden number 4, and I'll go Bradley Beal number 5.
What do you want to accomplish this season on the court? What are some of your goals?
So, as for right now, I'm focused on school ball. So, the main goal is to win a state championship for my team. I think, especially for all the seniors that's going to leave after this year, win a state for them. But also doing what I got to do and just winning games this year. I'm trying to go 32-0.
Well, Jeremiah, thank you so much for taking some time out of your night. Good luck this season.
Appreciate you.